If you clicked on this video, you're probably thinking about relocating to the Indianapolis metro area. So here are the top 5 things you need to know before moving to the Indianapolis metro area. If you're new here, I'm Cameron Geesaman, local Indy area resident and real estate agent, and I love making videos like this for people like you that are considering maybe making a move to, from, or around the Indy metro area. Thanks for joining me today. So let's get started on the 5 most important things you need to know about moving to the Indy metro area. Now, since I'm a professional real estate agent and clearly my channel focuses on helping you find your first, next, or last home in the Indy area, I'm going to start with home values, more specifically median sale prices, as that'll give you kind of a good idea of what to expect when you are looking for homes here in the area. Now, since the Indy area is quite a large area with multiple counties, I'm going to show you the median home price in some of the counties that surround Marion County so you can get an idea of home prices all over the area. To begin, let's start with Indianapolis itself, which is located in Marion County. Right now, the current median sales price of a home in Marion County sits at $250,000 with a little more than about 1,100 homes for sale. Just north in Hamilton County, the median sales price of a home is just over $441,000 with around 460 homes currently for sale. Hendricks County on the west side of Indianapolis has a median sale price of $350,000 with 262 homes actively for sale. On the south side of Indy is Johnson County with a median sales price of $305,000 and it has about 249 homes for sale. Then on the east side of Indy is Hancock County with a median sales price of just under $318,000 with 142 homes actively for sale. Now, these are not all the counties that surround Indianapolis, but this gives you a general idea of what homes cost on different sides of town. Now, to get a bit more granular with some of the more popular suburbs on the north side of Indy, the median sales price are as follows. In Fishers, it's around $445,000. In Carmel, it's $566,000. In Westfield, it's about $458,000. And Zionsville is an eye-watering $600,000. Now, if you're looking for more information about some of those areas I've just mentioned, I've put a link in the description below that will kind of take you to a more in-depth video about those areas. But don't click on that just yet, as I've got a lot more to talk about in regards to the Indy metro area itself. The topic of home values segues nicely into the second most important thing you need to know about, which is living in the Indy metro area, and that's public schools. The main thing to know about the public school districts in the Indy area is the best rated school districts are mostly in the suburbs, at least according to niche.com. Here is a map of Indianapolis. I'm going to kind of go through the top 10 best rated public school systems in the Indy area and put a marker on the map for each one so you can kind of see where they are. Coming in at number 1 is Carmel Clay Schools on the north side of Indy. Number 2 is Zionsville Community Schools on the northwest side. Number 3 is Brownsburg Community Schools on the west side. Number 4 is Westfield Washington Schools on the north side. Number 5 is Plainfield Community Schools on the west side. Number 6 is Hamilton Southeastern Schools on the north side. Number 7 is Avon Community Schools on the west side. Number 8 is the school town of Speedway, which is inside Indianapolis proper. Number 9 is Center Grove Community Schools on the south side. And number 10 is Noblesville Schools on the north side of Indy. So as you can see, most of the highest rated school systems are mostly concentrated on the north and west side of Indianapolis. Now, circling back to the home values I talked about a couple minutes ago, if I overlay those numbers on the map, you'll see that the areas with the highest median sales price for homes are also in the same areas as some of niche.com's highest rated school systems. Now, what the map doesn't show you is that there really are other great public school options on every side of town. They just may not be the highest rated on niche.com's list. I've left a link in the description below for niche.com's full rankings of school systems in the Indy metro area, so you can dive into that a little more if you wish to do so. Now, moving on to the third most important thing about moving to the Indy area is the low cost of living. According to a recent study, Indiana is the 14th cheapest state to live in with a cost of living index at 91. How this scale works is It's based upon like a 100-point scale, with 100 being average. So anything below 100 is below average, and anything above 100 is above average. So that means in Indiana, it is typically about 9% cheaper to live here than it is in the average state. So that means that groceries, housing, utilities, transportation, healthcare costs, and most other things are mostly cheaper here in Indiana versus other states. And not surprising, a lot of the other states that are higher in the cost of living index are states where I help people relocate from to Indiana. Places like California, Texas, Illinois, New York, and Arizona, and of course, many others. All right, now I want to interject with a caveat to the low cost of living, and that's if you want to live in any of the popular areas around Indy, it's certainly going to cost you more. Let's use the example of the average price to live in Marion County, or essentially Indianapolis, versus Zionsville. Marion County is $250,000 and Zionsville is $600,000. Clearly, there is a big difference in how much it costs to live in both of those areas, with the average home price as evidence of that. I've got another video that I'll link below that talks about the cost of living in and around the Indy area that goes into more details about this, so click below if you're interested in that as well. Okay. Just a couple more important things to go over about living in the Indy metro area. So coming in at number 4 on my list is the proximity of downtown Indy versus the major surrounding suburbs. As you can see here on this map, Indianapolis is centrally located not only in the state of Indiana, but all of the major suburbs form what I like to call a donut around Indy. So that means no matter which side of Indy you live on, you'll average about a 30-minute drive to get to downtown Indy and all that it has to offer. And what exactly is there to do in downtown, you ask? Well, more things than I can cover here, but I'll hit some of the highlights. It is the home of the NFL's Indianapolis Colts, the Major League Baseball team Indianapolis Indians, and the NBA's Indiana Pacers. You can go to Monument Circle or head just a bit north to University Park and the War Museums. There's also the Indianapolis Zoo and the world-famous Children's Museum. Just a bit west of downtown Indy is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the home of the Indianapolis 500. If you're a foodie, I'd recommend hitting Mass Ave. Or if you like the kind of nightclub scene, then head a bit north to Broad Ripple. Again, there's no shortage of fun things to do in downtown Indy, and if you live in the suburbs, you're really not that far away. Again, probably a 30-minute or so drive. The last thing you should know about living in the Indy metro area is the geography and weather. Indiana is a part of the Midwest, and we do get all 4 seasons here. Hot and humid summers, cold winters, and everything in between. As far as Indy itself goes, it's a pretty flat area. And in fact, most of Indiana is pretty flat unless you head kind of south towards Kentucky, where you start to get a few hills. But that means no mountains and of course, no oceans. Indianapolis receives about 42.4 inches of rain each year, which is actually more than Seattle, believe it or not. Additionally, we average about 22 inches of snow each year, but I can say for a fact, these past few winters, it's been much more mild and we've had less than, I think, about 8 inches of snow as of late. The average high temperature in July is above 84, and the average low in January is 19. Now, spring allergies are definitely a problem here as well. So if you suffer from seasonal grass, tree, or pollen allergies, get ready with your Kleenex boxes and allergy medicine. All right, those are my top 5 things you need to know about living in the Indy and surrounding areas. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, as I do read and try to respond to all the comments. I'd love to know maybe where you currently live and why you're thinking about moving to the Indy metro area, as I always love to hear those kinds of things as well. If you're looking to make a move to the Indy metro area anytime in, say, the next 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, I would love to be your trusted resource and real estate agent. We also put a link in the description below if you want our customized relocation guide. I've helped hundreds of people just like you that are moving to, from, and around the Indy metro area, and I know this area backwards and forwards, top to bottom. If you liked this video, please go ahead and click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my upcoming videos about the Indy and surrounding areas. As promised, here's a link to another video that talks about living in the Indy metro area That's it from me today. Thanks for joining, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.